What's going on, guys? You are locked into Trending with Nate, with me, Nate, and today I am joined by the one and only Nish. Nish, how are we today?
I'm very good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
It is my absolute pleasure. We're going to get right into it.
Let's go.
Let's talk about your viral moment. Your look at your big cover, standing by you. You didn't even know you went viral, did you?
You know what's crazy about that? Basically, it went crazy. It was popping on TikTok, and I had no idea because I didn't have a TikTok account.
Talk me through it. I want to start from the beginning.
So originally, that song, I done it because I was testing out a new microphone that I got.
Oh wow!
And I really like the original song. So the song's a banger, obviously. So I was like, all right. I was doing like mashups and covers like before. I'd like intermittently drop them between my releases just for content and just generally because I like singing them. And what happened is. Someone told me, oh, you should do that Duniya song, you know, it'll sound good. I listened to it, I was like, and bear in mind, if you know me, you know my Bollywood knowledge is actually not very good.
Yeah.
So I used to get recommendations from people and someone recommended that, I heard it, I was like, oh, this is a banger. Yeah. So I recorded it, I was testing out this new mic that I got and literally I put it out within like the following week and I think I was in New York touring at the time. I'd had a show in New York and like one night of that New York tour, I just went out onto Brooklyn Bridge and started walking around near like, you know, near the streets of New York.
As you do.
Washington Square Park, walking through. I remember I was walking past like avoiding rats as I walked. Like, it was an experience to say the least. But I put like lyrics on top of it and then I put it out and then before I knew it, I was like watching it just grow and grow and grow. So it was like, yeah, it was nuts. Like I didn't expect it to be that kind of, you know, that have that response.
Have that impact. Because I feel like scrolling on TikTok, every other video was using your sound.
The TikTok thing is crazy actually because think about it. I come from like very Instagram centric background and I'm guilty of being not so active on social media anyway because I don't know, I'm like so into my studio making music that I sometimes forget that side of being an artist. So I had a TikTok account which I created, but I didn't really like, you know, I didn't really utilize it because I feel like I'm a little bit older anyway. So like, I feel like I'm a bit old for like that. But then people like us should also tap into that. Like, so that was a lesson that I learned the hard way. Because I started getting messages on my family group saying, yo, you know, this person's used your tune on TikTok. I was like, oh, okay, sick, yeah, people use my music. Nah, it got 9.7 million views. I looked, I was like, come again? I was like, come again? As I say that, someone send it to me right now. Send it and I put it on TikTok.
Show me the receipt.
I put it on TikTok. I was just like, guys, this cover was done by me, you know, like, you know,
so someone was actually pretending to be you.
You know, the maddest thing is, because it's a cover, it's not actually my song either. So I'm
That's
there
true,
trying to, you know, I'm trying to claim a song that don't even belong to me. I was like, this is mine. Oh, no, this is my cover.
This is my cover.
So so you have to be a bit careful on that one. But yeah, like someone was like just putting it out on like loads of wedding videos and what. And yeah, it's just like, it took off, man. I didn't really think that, it's mad because it's always the song that you don't expect to do well. You know, I got like tunes that I love and I'm like, oh, why isn't this song like doing the numbers?
Doing the numbers, yeah.
But yeah, and in fact, again, I done it as like a mess around. I kind of done it, yeah, like
this song. Testing his mic? Literally.
Testing my mic. I done it as a mess around. Hey, this is another bit of content. And yeah, like it went nuts. But the good thing I would say that I take from that is, I think it opened me up to like a whole different type of audience because I'm very heavily involved in like the Bengali music and the Bengali scene and my background. At the beginning of my career, I did a lot of stuff in Punjabi as well because although I don't speak Punjabi, I can sing in Punjabi. So
really,
it was one of those ones. Yeah, a lot of the songs and stuff you know, even a lot of the new releases that I got, a lot of them are Punjabi releases. So I felt like that kind of reconnected that crowd that I had at the beginning of my career when I came out, and I had songs like Manja, Somebody, Fiesta, which had Punjabi lyrics in it. It kind of reconnected that crowd. So yeah, it was an interesting moment in my career, definitely.
Let's just tap into the TikTok thing for a sec. So obviously before the song blew up, you were just, TikTok was on the sideline.
Yeah.
Do you feel like now artists, you have to kind of put TikTok at the forefront as well as the music? Like you need to have like a
100%,
marketing strategy.
1,000,000%, because it's part of now your marketing strategy, like you just said. Again, someone like me was quite ignorant to it before. Now I'm like, you know, trying to do it and trying to, you know, you have to place that as part of your marketing campaign.
But then
as an
do you
artist.
think there's a pressure that like we need to make sure this is like a viral song. We need to make sure it's for TikTok. Do you know what I mean?
It's a fine line because sometimes, like someone like me that comes from a musical background, a live musical background, you know, classically trained artist, South Asian classically trained artist, for me it's all about the music. It always has been about the music. It's about making the song right. I feel like I don't want to fall into a trap of trying to make a song for TikTok, if you know what I'm saying. I want to make a good song.
Do you think people have been falling into that trap?
I think so. I think naturally you would. And this is not like a, you know, I'm not throwing shade on anyone because that's some people's release plan, and there's artists that are blowing up from literally doing that. And for me personally, maybe I should do more of it as well. Maybe I should explore the opportunity of trying to do a song that might blow up on TikTok. And again, for me, it's a learning process. You know, I feel like I've been in the music scene professionally for the last like 7 to 8 years, but every day I feel like there's something I can learn. You know, I look at the new artists that come out, I'm like, yo, I can learn something from them. I look at the experienced artists that are there, and I can always learn something. So for me, I'm very open on trying to learn new ways
and evolve.
And evolve. Like we have to, as soon as we say we know what we're talking about. As soon as we say we know it all, then what are you really pushing for?
That's true. So you mentioned you were classically trained. When did you start that? So when did your interest in music? When did this all start?
Do you know what's mad,
Take
mate?
us through the journey.
You know what's crazy? I've been singing since I was 5 years old.
Really?
Yeah. So my music career is a mad one because all right, my background, I come from a British Bangladeshi Sylheti Muslim background, right? So some people may say, like the whole singing thing and the whole music thing was not very common, and it wasn't, especially in my community and the kind of perception that there is. But the truth of the matter is, I had the support from my family from the get-go, because it was like, all right, do it if you're good at it. I believe in a lot in if you're good at something. And, people don't know I have a master's degree in computer science.
Stop it.
So, I come from a very academic background.
Take notes, guys.
I come from a very academic background, but I don't, I always said to myself, this is where my heart was at, this is where my passion was. And, what better thing to do and to work where you wake up, where it's your career, it's your passion.
Like you love your job, it's your passion.
You wake up in the morning and your office is the studio. Are you mad? I'm going to the studio. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those ones.
Testing out new mics.
Yeah, testing out new mics,
making viral songs.
Which is crazy. So like growing up, I've always had it as like a hobby and a passion while studying. When I was in school, I remember my secondary school, because I grew up in quite a, I don't want to say a rough background in terms, but I grew up in East London, so it was like
the ends.
It was the ends, yeah. Like those that know, they know, like what it was like back then. When I went into school, we had like airport security arches and stuff. Because of it was a thing, with knife violence and stuff like that, gangs. There was a lot of that stuff while growing up. Although I weren't particularly involved in it, I was just exposed to it.
You were still around it.
I was around it. So I remember my school, they gave me a key. I was the only person that had the key to the music studio, because a lot of kids would go in there and just like robbing stuff. And so they're like, look, you're trustworthy and you can think. So what I was doing is I would use the music studio, but what I'd do is I'd bring a lot of the guys in as well. Because my background, so this is where my UK background comes in. My UK background is very grime. I come from a very grime in the UK background. So, when I was growing up, there was a lot of rappers around. When I was in school, I used to listen to, Gets, Kano, DWE, Scorcher, Rich.
One of the kids that used to put on Channel U after school.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I was one of them.
For
as
sure.
As soon as I got back, Channel U.
And it's crazy. Fast forward like 2020, and I'm working with some of these guys as well, doing, and for me, I'm there, like I had a song with Scorcher. Scorcher's an idol of mine.
Mad.
I love Scorcher. He's now big bro.
What's crazy? I remember listening to Scorcher years ago, and I thought I haven't heard anything of Scorcher. Remember his song like
nuts.
The Diary or Final Chapter.
I love Scorcher. I love Scorcher, and for me it was a surreal moment when I had him on my EP, and and he shows me that love of like, Nish, your thing is sick. Yeah. So that was a huge moment in my career as well. But parallel to that, while I was doing that, my mom used to take me to like classical, South Asian classical vocal lessons. So I learned like rag. I literally learned all of that. I learned how to play harmonium, tabla. I took a couple of sitar lessons. I was rubbish at sitar though. Don't ever bring a sitar around. But I can still play tabla to this day. Still play harmonium to this day. And I felt like that was such an
So you had like both sides of...
It's kind of like, I feel like that's an integral part of the music that I make now, because it's very UK influenced. I come from a UK, Afro influence. I love Afro beats. I love UK music. But at the same time, you know, I have that base of the South Asian melody.
It's like both of your cultures put together, right?
I feel like that's just the way that my music knowledge is conditioned, because it's like almost the best of both worlds. So it's kind of where I was at, and growing up, and I always was when I went to uni, I was part of like societies and stuff, where I ended up meeting Jay Sean randomly one day, and again, big fan. Jay Sean is Jay Sean, you know, massive fan. I was a massive fan of Mumsy as well, because he was another Bengali.
So your musical journey, you're balancing the UK scene and the South Asian scene. I want to talk about your influences.
Influences, all right. If I could pick, there's a few people that I work, like Mumsy's up there, definitely, and I'll say it till the cows come home, you know. Love Mumsy, not just as an artist, but as a guy as well, you know. People, I've said it so much that it's boring. Musical influences, Ryan Leslie. I was always a massive Ryan Leslie fan, because he was a singer, rapper, and a producer. So things that I was really interested in while kind of coming up. If I'm talking about on the UK side of things, I would say, you know, Kano was up there, Get, Scorcher, these guys, you know, part of that whole grime building, the UK scene. Yeah, the forefathers, you know, because I grew up on that. If I was to say UK on a singing one, I would say Craig David. Love Craig David.
You gotta love Craig David.
Usher, I have a big old school R&B influence. Joe, Tank, Genuine. I don't know if you guys remember the band called ATO that were from Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah, they were sick. Who else? T.I.
I don't think our younger viewers are going to remember ATO.
Oh yeah, no. They might not remember that. But
Google it now.
If I'm going on the rap side, then, you know, 50 was amazing while growing up.
What's your favourite 50 track?
I love the whole Get Rich or Die Trying album. I think it's just like
it's a classic.
Timeless. You know, the whole G-Unit movement. T.I. I love T.I. Dipset. Everyone was like obsessed with like Dipset as well at one point. Funnily enough, growing up, Bow Wow as well, when he was coming up.
No, stop it, Bow Wow.
I was big on Bow Wow.
I was Bow Wow's biggest fan.
Yeah, trust me.
Do you remember Like Mike?
My sister, Like Mike's a wicked film. Like Mike is like one of my top 10.
Bow Wow was like my first love.
Like literally.
Second after
my sister used to love Bow Wow, yeah.
He was great.
It was wicked. Bow Wow, what else? Not so much on the... So what else? All right, if I flip it now on like the Desi side, so I don't actually have a very good knowledge of Bollywood and stuff. The best, I've only watched like the big hitter Bollywood films like
Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. It was my first ever Bollywood film that I've watched.
Same.
Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham.
Yeah.
Kal Ho Na Ho. Like, you know, like the timeless ones.
Yeah.
But you know the new ones, I'm like, regrettably, I'm not really accustomed to watching a lot of it, because I don't get time to really sit and watch Bollywood films like that, but what I'm trying to do is like learn about all the songs and stuff like that. So, but in terms of singing Bollywood singers, Udit Narayan, Arjit Singh is like, I love Arjit Singh.
Yeah.
There's if at the top of my head, I think I've given you like so many.
So many, a whole catalogue.
Yeah, trust me.
No, that's good.
Like, that's like I went all around the globe there as well.
He literally did. That was like a
Drake. How can I forget Drake? Bro, how am I forgetting Drake? I'm like, you know, So Far Gone Drake. You know, Comeback Season Drake. J. Cole. You know, all of those. Friday Night Lights. All of those, the previous stuff before. I actually went to Drake and J. Cole's first ever UK show.
Did you?
2013 at Hammersmith Apollo. I was there.
I went to the Birmingham one.
I was there. I remember he did Thank Me Later, and J. Cole did Friday Night Lights. It was still to this day, one of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
UK, obviously, current J Hus. I love J Hus.
J Hus?
I love J Hus.
But he hasn't dropped anything in a long
He will.
time,
Summer's
man.
coming.
That's true. He does drop something around summer, and then we will have the best summer.
Love J Hus. He's like up there. J Hus, Dave. You know, like.
All right, Dave or Dave or Stormzy?
Me personally, Dave.
Yeah, I would say Dave.
I rate Stormzy's thing. He's killed it. But for me personally, on a lyrical level, I love Dave. I think he's really sick.
He is. Now, you said like you started off when you came onto like more of the Desi scene. You started off with like the Punjabi stuff.
Yeah.
Then you went into the Bangla stuff.
Yeah.
And now obviously you're coming back to the Punjabi side.
I'm trying to fuse the two.
Do you think it's harder as a Bengali to kind of come into the Punjab? See, I feel like, let's not call it the Punjabi scene, the Desi scene.
The Desi scene, yeah.
But it's very heavily saturated with just the Punjabi singers.
So my answer to that is quite simple. I would say, yeah, it is, but there's two sides of the coin. I don't like looking at things on a negative and say, oh yeah, look, the urban desi scene is dominated by Punjabis. That's a fact, but there's a reason also why. Because I feel like the Punjabi music scene has been doing it for years and years and years of churning out great artists, great music, you know, getting places where South Asians have you know, maybe arguably never been before, you know, and I think that that's something we can take an influence from. As being a Bengali, look, I'm not Punjabi. I don't come from a Punjabi background. I appreciate Punjabi music, hence why I sing it. A lot of the artists that I work with are Punjabi artists, like in the scene at the moment, and a lot of people that I have relationships with are Punjabi artists in the scene. Why, you might ask? The way I look at it is that there's a blueprint that was set out there, and you know, although I'm kind of in my own lane and kind of making my own little lane with the whole Bangla thing, you know, we can take things and learn. We can learn things from it. You know, how did this sound? Why did this do so well? You know, why is this the most popular thing? Of course, in terms of representation, you know, there could be representation for all types of, and I'm not even saying a Bengali one. I feel like, you know, Sri Lankan, particularly Tamil music, you know, Gujarati, you know, I feel like there could be the Pakistani, all amongst South Asia, even like South Asian, Caribbean, like Trinidad and a Guyanese. There's a big market that maybe might not get the attention that it deserves. So I feel like I'm not even just speaking for one. You know, I think I'll be ignorant if I'm just saying, oh, Bengali, because it's not just the Bengali as well. It's loads of other ethnicities. And I feel like with the Punjabi scene, where it is and where it's going, you look at, you know, the likes of AP Dillon, Gurinder Gill, Shinda Kalon. That's like basically doing what they're doing. And you know, the late Sidhu Moosewala, who's you know, who really took it somewhere. Yeah. It's something that we could take and think, you know what? Let's aspire to be, not do exactly what they're doing and copy, but it's like, let's aspire to be where they are as well. Yeah. So we can learn from it. And I feel like now, although when I first started, there wasn't really a lot of acceptance, but also I think it's a language barrier. That's true, yeah. Because you got to remember, people that come from a Bengali background, and I'll tell you straight, you know, we understand, apart from me, because I speak English, Bengali and Sylheti. That's the only only three things I speak. But, you know, like my parents' generation stuff, they understand Hindi, they understand Urdu, they speak Bangla as well. Whereas I feel like a lot of the rest of South Asia don't really understand Bangla. No. It's a very difficult language. So, you know, it's a balance, I think. So we spoke about your relationships with some Punjabi artists. Let's talk about Rackstar. I love Rax. He's been in the game for a long time, and you've worked with him. Tell me about that. First and foremost, big up to Rax, man. Like, what a guy, what a man. But relationship with Rax, I would say it's not even music with me and Rax anymore. It's like he's like a bro, in some respects a mentor, because he's an older artist. He's been around for a long time. I think people like Rax it's very valuable for us to have in the industry, because I feel like he's one that really helps a lot of up and coming artists as well, particularly when I started, when I did that Turn Me On song with Mumsy. Rax loved the record, and he said, yo, like, let me jump on, let me put a verse on. And just generally on like helping artists like myself coming through. You know, he doesn't always, maybe Rax doesn't get the flowers he deserves sometimes as well. I think so. I think someone like him, he may not. And I'm always here to scream his name and say it. And also another thing. Because he's been in the game for a long time. And I feel like, you know, I appreciate someone like him. He helps me with Punjabi lyrics. I'll send him like a melody and be like, bro, what do you think I should write? He'll be like, hold that, let me write you something. He'll come down from where he lives to where I live and be like, yeah, bro, like, now I'm gonna walk you through the Punjabi. Now, if you don't say it like this, you got to say it like that. I'm like, and it's strenuous. You know, I'll do like 2-3 takes. I might not get it the first time. And he'll be like, nah, bro, you can do it. You know, he's very good like that. And I think just generally I like being around him. That's really mad to hear, because I feel like there's not enough of that. People actually guiding and helping other artists where they could see you as competition no, I'm not going to help him. He's a real one. He can do his thing and I'm going to do mine. But he seems to really care as well. He does. He genuinely does. And even he's the kind of person that, you know, like you can be on a long drive somewhere and I will consciously, or he will consciously, we'll just call each other and we just chat for an hour. You know, just a catch up. You know, like, oh, bro, how are you? Not even like a music thing. How's family? Oh, bro, like, we're sharing like recipes and stuff. Oh, bro, I made this pasta the other day. You're gonna love it. You know? And that for me is a relationship that I have with any artist that I have a relationship with and I can call my friend. That's what I'll be talking about. Do you think that's important in this industry? I think it's so important. Honestly, Nate, it's so important because You know, life's too short. You know, the career is too short. You know, you can be hot property today and tomorrow you can be yesterday's news.
Exactly.
You know, someone hotter, someone newer, someone younger can come in and take your place like that.
Exactly.
And you got to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
But what doesn't disappear, once all the lights are turned off, once all the cameras are off, I genuinely like value the relationship that I have with people that I know, because I feel like they're like, these are the things that why I do the music thing, because you know, I don't, when I meet people, I like connecting on a human level first, even with like new artists that I might be, that I've never met before, that I might be collabing with. You know, the first studio session, I promised you, there's not a single thing is recorded or turned on. We'll spend 2 hours just chatting.
Now, Nish, I want to talk about your covers. So what kind of made you go that way rather than just making your own original tracks? What made you think, let me
honestly
cover some tracks?
Do you know what's, honestly, it's because I like the song.
Yeah.
I like the song. I think to myself, oh, I wish I
put
was
your own
singing that. Like, I wish I was singing. You know when you hear a banger, you're like, oh, I wish this tune was mine. But I just sing it. It's more so appreciation for the song. I would never cover something that I don't like. Do you understand what I'm like? Even if it's like popping or viral or whatever, I think that's one thing that I keep quite, I'm quite rigid about. But it's generally because I like the song, and also on the if we're now going on the content and the whole social media, all of that stuff, for content is great, because you know, we're like, the real facts and the real truth is, as artists, we don't have we're independent artists, right? We don't have a stack of cash that we're sitting on and saying, yeah, let's go and splash 10 grand on a music video every other month. Exactly. It's impossible. Like, if you got that, then fantastic, you're doing amazing. You know, people like us, we don't have that right now. So, you know, so it doesn't make financial sense to always do it and always put out music that's, especially, I'm saying for me, as an artist, as Nish. So for someone else, it could be completely different. For me, it's not making 100% sense if I'm spending a lot of money into, you know, releasing music or whatnot. Like I'd love to do like one release every month. My ideal situation, I'd love to do that. But sometimes, bro, the funds are not there. You get, like,
it don't make sense.
It's real. Like I'm saying, as a real person, like there's no sugarcoating it. So you got to be smart about it. How do you be smart about it? Cool. How do you show people that you're still active and you're still doing stuff? You drop some covers. And what the covers have done for me is it helped build my YouTube channel. Because my YouTube channel is on like nearly 500K now. And that for me is a massive number. Like I'm an indie artist from the UK. Like I don't have a label behind me. I don't have I don't have marketing backing. I don't have none of that. I'm doing this out of my own backyard. And also at the same time, I'm editing. You know, some of them I'm even filming. Like shout out to Sachin Patel. He films like pretty much most of my stuff. But most of the stuff I edit myself. I put out. I manage all of that stuff. You know, it's only now I've started to get, because I've grown as an artist a little bit. I've started to get social media managers and, you know, PR and this and that. But 5 years ago, I didn't know this. I didn't know any of that. So the covers helped me because it made me release stuff. People used to like it. People used to say, hey, oh, this is sick. Yo, you reckon you can come sing this at this wedding or that? And for me, that was the income. This is where it kind of helped. And what I did at the beginning of my career, any money that I kind of got through music, I put it into my studio, invested into the studio, so then I can turn around and say, all right, cool. I don't need to hire a studio. I learned everything I need to, you know, producing, mixing, engineering. So if I can do this, I can save money here. Or if I know how to edit, I can save money there. If I've got my own camera gear, I can save money here. It's literally about budgeting. You have to think logically about it, You have to budget it, correct. And I felt like covers were it had a good return, always a good return, because what would happen is that the live stuff would work. Because people would say, yo, can you come and sing that cover? Man wouldn't even ask me for my tune. They'd be like, yo, can you go and sing that? But for me, it was a bag like that I would get. Like, for sure. It's a bag that I would get, and some people might not even talk about it because everyone's gonna talk about, oh yeah, this tune and that tune. Some of my own songs did do well. Like I did a song called Ma Baba, which was on that album with Rupika. That done really well. I had Homecoming, which done well. You know, I had a few dribs and drabs of original music that done well, but it's about catalogue and content. You know, you gotta look active. This whole game is an optics thing. You gotta look busy as well. You know, if you're not busy for 6 months, people will forget about you. And people think, oh, they fell off. You fell off. Yeah. But realist truth is we're grinding. We're just trying to do it. You know, with after one release, you know what it is? A lot like fans are they want more as well. You drop something, or when's the next one coming out? You know, once it's done, look, people forget about things, or they move on from things very quickly. You just got to keep up with it. We spoke about this like off camera, just about humanising artists, right? Yeah. So do you feel like sometimes fans fail to do that? Like, Nish, you just dropped this,
It was great. I'll drop another one now.
Do you know what? I think it's less. I don't want to blame fans because at the end of the day they're the ones that make our careers. We'd be nothing without them. But I feel like it's sometimes ignorance, and it's ignorance could be from both parts. It could be from us as well because we don't have the answers to everything either. Artists are just human, like you said. That we sometimes feel like we as artists can sometimes be less of a human than someone else. One of the things that I try and always maintain is my human element, and we were talking earlier on is connecting with someone on a human level before everything else, because at the end of the day that's what we are. And you're right, I feel like sometimes some fans may be ignorant to the fact that we're also human as well, but it's up to us as well to just show them that we're human too. Like I've explained something about this whole income thing with music. It's difficult. Being an independent artist, to do it for 8 years. People like Mumsy's been doing it for even longer. Rax has been doing it for even longer. It's tough. We have high points, we have low points. We have some very low points. You don't always see all of that.
Let's talk about the low points. You did go through obviously stuff with your health back in 2020. Do you want to go into that a bit?
So I was diagnosed, those that don't know, some of you may know, but I was diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia, which is a form of blood cancer in November 2020. And obviously it was mad because it came as a shock, not just, because you can imagine to me, but everyone around me. I had it prior 6 months before, and I didn't know. I'd basically stopped eating. I lost like a crazy amount of weight. I looked unrecognizable. So there's a song, actually, do you know what? Nate, you'll be the first one to hear this, because I haven't actually publicly said this. The song Manina, those that know that song, that was like a week before, I shot that a week before I was diagnosed.
Wow.
So if you watch that video, I was very, very, very sick on that video shoot. I remember being really sick, but I didn't know what was wrong with me. So I got it checked up, and then obviously it was a mad experience because you never think it can happen to you.
That's true, yeah.
You think you're kind of invincible from it. And I think that whole period, generally, it was during COVID as well. And COVID, you know how tough it was for people in our industry, not just our industry, freelance industry, because technically that's what artists are.
Yeah.
Independent artists are freelancers. So for the freelance industry, COVID just shut us down. No shows, no this, no that. Like we're with people, like it was complete shutdown. And people were finding it hard to make money. Like that's the real facts. Real facts. We had shows that were cancelled. I had shows that would basically cover my overheads for the months that were cancelled. So now I'm thinking to myself, right, now I've got to, now I'm in the minus because I'm dipping into savings and stuff like that. Yeah. Stuff that people might not even talk about. So imagine, it was almost like a double whammy because I had health issues too. So the truth is, at that point, I was actually thinking about maybe even nipping it in the bud on the whole music thing.
Really?
I thought about, like maybe, I've got a degree in computer science, whatnot, maybe,
go into that
and explore into that, because I was lucky I could bounce back or I can fall back on that. But I dealt with a lot of mental and physical issues.
How was that on your mental health? Like, one, just the lockdown, two...
It was tough, man. Like
finding out that you've been diagnosed with this.
I think it was difficult, because obviously the chemotherapy, which I'm still going through as well to this day, but I feel like I'm on a different page now. But back then, when it was quite harsh, it was tough. I was in hospital for like a week and undergoing intensive chemo treatment. I lost my hair and, all of that. And it was tough because it was during COVID. No one could come and see me. I was in a separate room by myself at St. Bart's, and I could have no visitors. So can you imagine being in a situation like that? It was like bang in the middle of like proper lockdown and all of that stuff. So it was really, really tough in a sense of like just difficult to deal with. And I would say that kind of shaped me. It was a defining moment for me, because that's then when I really appreciated the support, the people around, my family, my loved ones, my friends, anyone around me that showed a bit of support. Like I felt like a lot of people in the music industry came together and like was like sending me best wishes and stuff. And I thought to myself, nah, you know what? I got a purpose now. It's almost like that had to happen to me. It's weird as it sounds.
Like a realization.
It was a realization because because my mindset changed. I was like, do you know what? Time is limited. You don't know who this can happen to. Appreciate the relationships you have with people. You don't know who's gonna come and go.
Exactly.
Today or tomorrow, you don't know what's around the corner for someone else. If you ask about people, check in on people. And what I did is I appreciated that a lot, because I thought to myself, do you know what? At my lowest point, man's are still asking about me. You know, like, and I felt that, after the support I got, I was like, nah, there's no way I can give up on this now. There's no way I can let people down.
That kind of cemented it for you.
I didn't want to let
like, nah, I need
myself
to
down.
do
Yeah,
this,
I was like, you know what? I need to do this now. And now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this part of my story. 100%. Because yeah, I do a lot of stuff with cancer research, and you know, I do a lot of campaign work that goes on national television during the Euro 2020. Like, I don't know if a lot of people have seen ads of me, you know, raising awareness via Cancer Research UK. And I feel like it's a voice that maybe in our community, in my community specifically, we might not have had.
I feel like people like to keep it hush-hush when something like this is going on.
Like, I remember when I was gonna post it on like my socials and stuff, people like I had some family members like, Nish, are you sure you wanna do that? Like, you know, like, I was like, nah, they need to know. Because you know what is, even if it's a well wish, even if someone gives me a thought, for me, that's enough.
And you don't know who else you might be helping. There could be one of your followers, one of your fans that's going through something similar maybe, and they've seen you and they're kind of like, you know what, I'm not alone.
Nate, I'll be honest with you, you know, I was ignorant. I never used to go to the doctor. I used to be like, nah, it's calm. Like, my brain was in like tour, studio, this, that. I was like so invested in it, because at that point in 2019, I was on like an upward trajectory. I was like, yo, I just done a show at event in Apollo. I'm just flying out to Bangladesh. I had a headline show in Bangladesh. You know, I did a show in New York. I did a show. I'm like, yo, like, man's doing
living
something.
Life,
man, I'm living life. And when it fell off a cliff, because it did, when it fell off a cliff, I was like, right, like, I didn't even think about thinking of myself. Yeah, I didn't think about my health, and I felt like maybe if I can resonate with someone else as well. Forget music. It could be any industry. Someone could be working a job in finance or whatever. Someone could be a lawyer. They could be so like tapped into their work that they might even forget about themselves. Maybe that would be a realization for them to say stop.
And take a look at
let me just go like, oh, you know what? I'm feeling this pain in like, you know, my chest or whatever. I've been ignoring it. Yo, let me go to the doctor and see what's up. And that is where I was very lucky. Some people are not lucky. You know, when they get diagnosed with cancer, it comes with you've got X amount of time remaining. This is why
that's so scary.
This is why I consider myself lucky.
So Nish, let me explain.
Okay.
What you're gonna do is pick a little piece of paper from this. It's gonna say a word, and I want you can either sing, spit some bars, whatever you wanna do, whatever genre, but it has to mention that word.
This is gonna be, you know what, I have a feeling I might flop this like majorly, but it'll make great content because it's gonna be
great
so
content.
silly, yeah.
Great content. Okay. Right. And don't just pick the first one, give it a little...
Give it a little...
A little spinny spin.
Just gonna pick some random one, here we go. Right, so do I look at it, yeah?
Yeah.
So I got... Diljit Dosan.
Wow.
Sick.
Okay, come on. So now, go on.
So, do you know?
No, you can't.
Why?
You can't sing his song. You have to mention his name in your song.
I gotta mention his name in my song.
Yeah, so we can.
Oh man, I thought this would be easy then.
No. You know, it's never easy with Nay.
Alright. So I gotta mention.
You can either say Diljit or maybe just Dosanjh. If you want to, Diljit Dosanjh, but it has to be in whatever you sing or rap
Do you know what it is? I'm Bengali, so sometimes my Punjabi is like very, very, I butcher it sometimes.
It's fine. It can be in English.
Let's see.
Come on, Nish, you got this. He's got this. I believe in him.
Do you know? मैं दिल जीत प्यार करदा. Do you know?
Okay, we'll give you that one.
That's funny.
Next.
All right, cool. Wait, shall I?
Yeah, you keep that one as a little memoir.
All right, let's keep that there. Next one, yeah?
Yeah.
This is gonna be funny. How many of these am I doing?
You're gonna do 5.
Okay. Lafafa.
Lafafa. So do you know what a lafafa is?
No.
It's an envelope. So lafafa is the Punjabi word for envelope.
Lafafa.
Huh.
What do we call it in Bangla? Oh, I forgot what we call it in Bangla, man. I should know this.
Come on, Nish.
You know what it is? We just call things in Bangla. Sometimes we call things in English, but with a mad accent. So envelope, we would say embluff. You know that? Embluff. Lafafa, okay.
I mean, you could even put a little twist to that word, you know?
Lafafa. You really put me on the spot here. Lafafa. Send it far with the letter in the lafafa. Nah, I can't even rap like that.
I'll give you that
Can I have
one.
that? Can I
Yeah,
have
you
that
can
one?
have that. You can have
That
that.
was an absolute mess. But
It's okay. You did the best you could.
okay. This one. I didn't look at it, by the way.
Okay.
So. First dates. Interesting.
Okay.
First dates. So, alright. What is the parameters of this? So, do I have to sing a song or rap about it or whatnot?
Whichever one you want.
Do I have to mention first dates? I have to say first dates.
We're seeing the creative process, guys.
Man, I took you on a first date, but when I see you now, I can't wait.
Oh,
Everywhere we go is so bait.
so bait. I'll give you that.
All right, I done three. All right, cool. Okay. Socks.
Yep.
Do you know what? Socks. You know what's really funny? Socks in Bangla is called muja.
Why don't you use that word instead than the Bangla version? We'll allow that.
Muja. Like it's. Wait, I got something very funny going on. You know what's happening in my brain right now? Have you seen The Simpsons when the monkey is basically doing that?
Yeah.
That's basically what's going on
Wow.
right now. Socks. I'm wearing black socks. No.
Nish.
No, I'm getting there. Trust me, I'm
Okay.
getting there. You got to give me some time.
Okay,
you know what
sorry,
it is?
yeah.
I'm not a freestyler.
Okay, sorry. We're gonna give him a minute.
So you can no. It's not hitting.
Is it not giving?
Ladies and gents, it's not a hit. It's not a hit. It's not a hit right now. It's got to be a hit.
Okay, so for you, what
It's
we'll
got-
do, I'll take
Can I
back-
change it?
Yeah, I'll
Can I
take back
change
the
it?
socks.
It's really not a hit right now.
And I hope this is really something
It's not a
good.
mic test hit right now.
No, it's not. This
Okay.
one ain't gonna go viral. What is it?
TikTok!
Wow.
Come on! What do you know?
It's a sign.
TikTok. Right, I gotta say TikTok, right?
Yeah.
TikTok, the clock don't stop. When I make a tune, you know the beat drop. Mm-hmm. Somewhere down the line, you know I won't stop,
No.
but I'ma keep on popping
Yep.
on TikTok.
Period.
That was a lot easier, innit?
All right, Nish. I'm not gonna make you do any more. I feel like I've
I
really tortured you with
butchered all
that.
of it. Let me put these back in the bowl. Thank you.
It's okay.
I'm sorry for the viewers that thought that was absolutely trash from me, but
It's content. So what I want to know now, what is coming up next for you? What have you got planned?
So I'm actually working on a project. Funnily enough, I didn't have this decision until like a couple weeks ago, funnily. But I really, really want to drop another album or EP project. But really, I want to merge. You know, I want to be the bridge. So I've got loads of singles that I'm going to drop, which have Punjabi. I'm coming back to the original stuff with like Punjabi, Bangla, Hindi, you know, Arabic. I just love like languages, you know, and somewhere where there's like loads of different languages. For me, music is an international language, and I just want to kind of set the narrative of it's okay, whatever language it is, you know, it brings people together.
Music is music.
So yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I just want to make really, like, you know what? Forget what I just said. I just want to make good music. Good music. So that's where I'm at with it, yeah.
All right. What are some of the tracks you've been loving this year?
I'm loving a lot of, so what I've been listening to is interesting because my listening, if you go through like my playlist and stuff, what I listen in the car, it ranges from Vanessa Carlton, 1,000 Miles, to G-Unit, Gangsta. It goes from, you know, J Hus to Dave to, you know. You know what? I like Be Young. Funny story with myself and Be Young as well, because we basically did a show back in the days at like a lounge, like ages ago together, and then we did another show in Birmingham in the NAC where it was quite a big gala show, and we bumped into each other. We're like, "Were you from that you know,
Yeah.
obviously I knew who he was because he's like doing his thing. He's like to me, bro, like we're from what's it? The lounge show. I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, sick. Like, no, it was cool. His green room was next to mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I rate his thing. He's doing really well. Be Young is sick. Who else? You know what's mad? You're gonna laugh at me. D Block Europe. But hear me out. I feel like a lot of D Block Europe's music is like catered to a younger crowd as well. They like a lot of like younger crowd really like their stuff. Same with Central C. You know, a lot of they really like their stuff. But I get it. It's weird. It's almost like I understand it. I get what they're doing.
I love D Block. But you know one thing, let me tell you. Their latest tour, I was mortified. I never went. I saw it all over TikTok though. And there was a little girl. She was definitely at least like 10 or 12 years old, yeah. Like, she was little. She was spitting every single bar. And I'm thinking, you should not be listening to that.
Some of the lyrics.
Honey, you should not be listening to that. Because we know what they talk about, guys.
You know what? Do you know what? Like it's their thing, innit? Like, whatever they're doing well with it, but yeah.
But they, like, going back to the TikTok thing, all their tracks do so well on TikTok that's how these young, like, the crowds.
It's interesting, right?
Are coming across them.
It's interesting. Like, even if I go back to, like, the playlist stuff as well, you know what song I've been listening to quite a lot over the last, like, few, you know what, we've got this like illness, artists that we listen to our own music, own unreleased music. So I've got like, this whole thing of like banging out bare unreleased music, and then members of my family get into my car and be like, yo, you're not sick of your own voice, like you hear it every day. So I end up listening to a lot of my own stuff. I love, I'm a big fan of Prophecy. But he's
love the Prophecy.
You know, if those that know him here know that he's probably one of the funniest people that you ever meet, but you never ever get that from him, because he's this like once you get to know him, and big love to him, like he's you know we're very well acquainted in that respect. You know, who knows down the line as well. I'd love to do a record with him, but again, it's not even that. We're connected on a human level.
That's
before
it.
Music can come later. In that relationship, but he's like one of the funniest people that you will meet. He's so jokes.
All right, what's your favourite Prophecy track?
Right now, I'm banging out the one he done with DJ Lion, Merma. But Prophecy, I love Jitian. That was sick. That was like one of the first Prophecy songs. I know he's been doing stuff before, but that's when I really kind of got into him. I love that whole Solace EP he did as well. Sound was sick.
So good.
Obviously,
Close.
AP Dylan, Gurinder Gill, you know, Shinda Kalon. I like a lot of their music as well. In terms of, there's a few Bengali artists that I want to put everyone in as well. Like Musa, he's doing his thing. His music is great. Check him out. Habib Wahid, obviously, he's like quite a legendary guy in the Bengali scene. Yeah, man, there's like a lot of people really, really